Hollywood is no stranger to high-profile breakups, but few have caused as much eyebrow-raising intrigue as Sydney Sweeney, calling off her wedding to her fiancé Jonathan Davino just months before the big day. Their seemingly solid 7-year relationship had fans betting on forever, but it unraveled just before the I-dos. Let's count down the biggest bombshells behind Sydney's surprising decision to walk away. And no, it's not just about Glenn Powell. The normal Sid dilemma? Sydney Sweeney had one firm dating rule: no actors, no musicians, and definitely no one who carries a fan base larger than a small country. She wanted to be with someone outside the spotlight, someone who let her be normal Sid. You know, the kind of girl who could eat pancakes at a diner without the internet creating a Reddit thread about it. That's exactly why Jonathan Davino, a private Chicago-based businessman, seemed perfect. He wasn't chasing clout. He didn't have a verified Instagram account. He probably didn't even know how to spell paparazzi. For a while, it worked. He grounded her while the rest of the world watched her stardom take off like a rocket. But here's the twist. When your face is on magazine covers and you're starring in viral rom-coms with a ridiculously charming co-star, staying normal isn't just hard. It's practically a full-time job. Add in flirty on-set footage and chemistry that sets social media on fire, and suddenly, private relationship becomes public obsession. A love story with a 14-year head start. Sydney was just 21 when she started dating 35-year-old Jonathan in 2018. Yes, the age gap was significant, but love doesn't check IDs, at least not in Hollywood. The two seemed genuinely happy and kept things low-key, occasionally surfacing at exclusive parties like Hulu's Emmy Bash or Kate Spade's chic get-togethers. While other celebrity couples burned fast and fizzled out, Sydney and Jonathan felt like the rare slow burn, a match that valued privacy over PDA. He had stability, she had skyrocketing success. At first, it looked like balance, but over time, their worlds started heading in different directions. Sydney's career exploded. She was flying from set to set, attending press junkets, and becoming a household name. Jonathan, meanwhile, was presumably managing packaging deals and checking Excel sheets. They went from red carpets to reality, and reality wasn't quite as glamorous. Sydney's schedule was packed with premieres. Jonathan's was likely filled with quarterly meetings. It's tough to plan a future when your calendars don't even overlap for brunch. Even fairy tales need compatible timelines, and this one started running on 2 different clocks. Chicago Girl or future Mrs. Davino. Back in 2019, Sydney Sweeney called Chicago her getaway spot, and when asked who she knew there, she playfully replied, "A friend." That friend was no mystery. It was her boyfriend, Jonathan Davino, whose entire family is based in Chicago and owns a successful tech and packaging company. It wasn't just a weekend hideout. Sydney was clearly envisioning a future there. From building roots to playing future daughter-in-law, she seemed all in. But over time, her dreams started aligning more with Jonathan's world than her own. The romance slowly shifted into a life that felt pre-written, and not by her. Because let's face it, nobody wants their love story to feel like a corporate merger. Engagement ring. Now you see it, now you don't. By late 2022, Sydney was proudly wearing a diamond ring that screamed, "Wedding loading." Their big day was set for May 2025, a true Hollywood love story in the making. But fans soon noticed something strange. The ring started disappearing from her finger. Even her Instagram began looking suspiciously single. If rings could talk, this one was whispering, "Something's off." Either she was playing peekaboo with the jewelry, or cold feet had kicked in early. Let's just say the sparkle faded, and not just from the diamond. The baby dream versus the career hustle. Sydney has never hidden the fact that she wants to be a young mom. Baby fever was always part of her life plan. But during an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, she revealed that taking even 6 months off could tank her career momentum. "I don't have anyone to fall back on financially," she said, which made everyone blink twice. Wasn't she engaged? That line didn't just raise eyebrows, it raised a whole stadium full of red flags. Imagine being in a committed relationship and still feeling like you're one emergency away from Googling how to crowdfund maternity leave. It was clear something was off. The real kicker? Sydney basically described herself as flying solo, while supposedly planning forever with someone. Yikes. The plot twist that wasn't exactly. Cue the dramatic music. Sydney stars alongside Glenn Powell in Anyone But You, and rumors swirl faster than a reality show reunion episode. Were they having an affair? Was he the reason for the split? Sydney squashed it on SNL with a hilarious monologue. "Me and my fiancé produced the movie together. He was there the entire shoot." Then came the punchline. "He even came here tonight." Cut to him. Except he wasn't in the audience. Look, Glenn may not have been the reason for the breakup, but the timing certainly didn't help the optics. Check. Romantic clarity? Pending. There was a time when people whispered that Sydney was with Jonathan for financial stability, the classic older rich guy theory. But Sydney shut that down with confidence, saying she's bought everything she owns and supports not only herself, but her family too. She's not someone cashing in on someone else's fortune. She is the fortune. While Jonathan may have offered security, Sydney didn't need saving. What she needed was a relationship that matched her vision and momentum. Over time, it became clear that their paths weren't aligned anymore. It wasn't about money, it was about personal growth, and she was outgrowing the old chapter. A love that couldn't keep up. In the early years, Sydney and Jonathan's lifestyle fit like a glove. His flexible schedule balanced her rising career, and they had time to enjoy simple things. But then came hit roles, global press tours, long shoots, and all the chaos that comes with being Hollywood's rising star. Sydney's world moved faster with every project, while Jonathan's pace remained unchanged. The distance wasn't just physical, it was emotional and energetic. Where she needed someone to match her grind, he was stuck in cruise control. Eventually, the relationship couldn't keep up with her speed, and the connection started buffering like bad Wi-Fi. She tried to hit pause before hitting stop. Long before the breakup headlines, Sydney and Jonathan had already postponed their wedding, officially due to her packed filming schedule. But let's be honest, that was only part of the script. Behind the scenes, Sydney was spiraling into a quiet existential crisis about forever. Friends said she felt overwhelmed, which is code for, "I might scream if I see one more bridal Pinterest board." She started questioning if Jonathan was really the one or just the safe option. And when you're panicking during cake tastings instead of picking frosting flavors, that's a pretty big red flag. Weddings are supposed to feel magical, not like jury duty with a dress code. She didn't want to settle anymore. Here's the truth bomb. Sydney had been feeling unsure about her relationship for a long time, even before Glenn Powell's charming smirk showed up on set. She didn't want to settle, not because Jonathan was a bad guy, but because she was evolving. According to those close to her, Sydney had tried to break things off multiple times, but Jonathan didn't make it easy. Ending a 7-year chapter isn't simple. It's like trying to quit a streaming service that keeps giving you one more episode. But ultimately, she reached her limit. She was done playing it safe, done pretending, and ready to take control of her narrative, even if that meant rewriting the ending. If you loved uncovering the truth behind Sydney Sweeney's real-life plot twist, smash that like button. Got your own theory? Drop it in the comments. We're all ears and a little nosy. For more juicy celeb stories and behind-the-scenes drama, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell for updates. Thanks for watching, and remember, the tea is always hotter here.